In this video, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a little bit of a passion project of mine, and that is creating a Westport chair design that the average Joe, number one, can afford, and number two, can actually build it with very minimal woodworking skills. Uh, Now, don't know what a Westport chair is? Well, let me show you the 3D model quick. So I did this up in SketchUp, and I'll have to tell you, full disclosure, I spent a couple of days um, learning and understanding and designing, and ultimately, this is what we came up with. So, what is a Westport chair? Well, for that, let's bump over here to the internet. In fact, this is the first image I saw. So I was on Pinterest, and I came across this chair. And having a architectural design background, this chair just screamed cool. Look at that chair. Um, it's neat. It's very different, and obviously, it's not something that I could possibly afford. $6,000 for this chair. Um, and so, but anyhow, I just loved the curves. I loved all the angles. Just looking at the whole chair, it just, I don't know. To me, it just seemed really, really neat. And so at any rate, and I think what also appealed to me was how primitive the design and the build is. It's pretty, when you're looking at it, it's pretty primitive. So so anyhow, I didn't know anything about Westport chairs, so I just started kind of looking at this, saying, obviously just looking at it, there's a million different angles in this thing. So just looking at it, it would be pretty difficult to come up with a design. So naturally, my first gut instinct was, well, I wonder if there's plans available for this thing out there on the internet. And so my search began, and I learned a little bit about the chair. What's interesting about the chair, the original design was done by a fairly well-to-do fella, as I understand it, and he gave his sketches to the carpenter that he had worked with, and the carpenter built the chair. And then ultimately, the individual who created the design made a couple of modifications, and so the carpenter uh, built another version of it, and till the point where the carpenter decided to make his own version of the chair, and this is that Harry Bennell, and actually patented the design. So, took this other guy's, I think his name was Thomas Lee, took his drawing and basically created his own version of it. But because Thomas Lee didn't patent it, Harry did. Harry ultimately is the one who went on to sell and build and sell these chairs for a long, long time. And in fact, if you look at um, this particular listing, let's see right here, you can see it's actually stamped in the back of the chair. So I thought that was kind of cool. But so anyhow, this was kind of the predecessor to the modern Adirondack chair. So anyhow, I just thought it was a neat design, and so like I said, I went out on the internet to see if there were plans available, and there are plans available. So let me just show you. Now, so this is actually an original Westport chair, and it's $6,000. Now, the same website has reproduction chairs. You see, it says Westport style Adirondack chairs, and these are almost $6,000. And here you get two of them. So that's pretty cool. Um, and you can see they have the oversized arms. This looks like it's all made out of oak. And you can see they're using planks there. But it's very much in keeping with The original style of the chair, basic design of the chair, um, it's just an updated version of it. So you can get a pair of them for $6,000. So anyhow, when I went and I just Google search Westport Chair plans, interestingly enough, um, there is actually this company here makes, and you can see compared to the original, this is a picture of an original one. They're very, very similar, but this company here actually makes a plastic version of it. So that's kind of cool for a mere $1,000. That's pretty neat. But Rockler, of course, we all know Rockler has a set of Westport plans right here. You can get the cardboard version for $20, or you can get the, I think this is half MDF, yeah, quarter-inch MDF templates for like $50. So anyhow, I'll get rid of that. So this is the website that has those plans. You get two different options there. If you look at what I ultimately came up with, that little piece in the front, that was not part of the original. If you go back to the original, you can see that's open right there. But Rockler added that piece across the front and with that little swoop, and so did I. I thought that looked kind of good. I don't know. When we actually get to the building process of it, we'll kind of make that decision. So that's pretty cool. So Rockler does have a set of plans for it. Now, additionally, this old house, of course, we all know this old house, been around forever. They have a 3-minute and 27-second video on building a Westport chair. Now, why they would even put that out on the internet, I have no idea, because I promise you one thing. You would have to be a pretty skilled carpenter to glean anything out of this 3-minute video and actually successfully build your Westport chair. And one thing that I thought was comical, I like to consider myself not an expert by any means, but I do have quite a bit of experience. I do have an architectural design degree. So, when it comes to designing and understanding how things work and be put together, I can visualize things quite easily. But I just thought this was kind of comical because it says skill level, easy to moderate. And to me, this chair is anything but easy, especially with this particular plan. It says executing all the angled and bevel cuts requires passable carpentry skills and patience. The estimated cost of this chair is $300 to $350, and the estimated time to build it is going to take 10 to 12 hours. So what they've done, if they've told you it's going to take 10 to 12 hours, and they condensed 10 to 12 hours of construction time into 3 minutes. It leaves a lot to be desired, let me tell you. So, but at any rate, they do have a free plan. Doesn't cost anything. That's good. So they do have a free plan. And just as a side note, I did find one other set of plans. It was like $50 from the Adirondack Museum website. Did have a set of plans available as well. And there may be others out there too. I don't know. But interestingly, when you Google or if you go on YouTube and you type in DIY Westport chair or Westport chair build or anything, Westport chair, there's nobody out there building Westport chairs and talking about it because there isn't a build video that I saw on actually building this chair. I saw videos, but not really step-by-step actual build video. I'm building one of these chairs. So this old house does have a set of free plans. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything. And they kind of broke it down for you. And this first part, as far as, well, cut this to this length and that to that length, that part is pretty good. It's when we get into the detailed parts of the plan. You can see here they have a key for us, and some of these pieces get 12 degrees. Some of these pieces you get 45 degrees, and it shows you, like, this is the leg. Okay, it shows the leg is 4 inches by 24 inches, and those red hash marks indicate that all of those areas have a 12-degree bevel. Now B doesn't get anything, and C, these are the battens, and they get 45-degree on both ends. And this is your seat blank, and it doesn't get anything except those little tiny pieces right there. Oh, those are 12 degrees. Okay. And then this is your main, I guess, seat support, I guess is what you'd call it. And it doesn't get anything except the very leading edge gets 12 degrees. Your arm gets nothing. And this piece here is your backrest piece, and it gets 45. And then these are your back pieces, and you can see nothing except the angles right here, and those get 12 degrees. Well, and you get all these notches and things. Right here, you got to notch that out also. And all of that can get pretty complicated. All those different bevels, while it's not that big a deal, like I said, I really feel like unless you really know what you're doing, you're going to be pretty hard pressed to make all of this work. And so when we set out to create a design that was similar, because like I said, I really do love the style, I wanted something that was affordable, and that I felt like we could do pretty easily as far as the construction goes. I wanted to eliminate all them crazy bevels and all that notching of things out. All that takes time, and ultimately what we want is a really sharp looking chair, but we really don't want to have to jump through all them hoops with all the notches and bevels and things like that. Plus, I wanted to make it out of a material that was readily available. So let's go back and take a look at. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's go back to the original. So when we're looking at this original chair, it's tough to say what the thickness of that material is. I'm guessing that this original chair is all 3/4 material, or it's 1 inch. It's definitely not 1.5 inches thick. So I don't know what was more prevalent back then, if it was a full 1 inch thick, or if it wasn't. If we look at these chairs, now these chairs here, they definitely look like that's all 3/4 inch oak. I wonder if it says, now that I think about it, I wonder if I mean, if you're spending $6,000, it should tell you details. Similar to Harry Burnell, yeah, Thomas Lee. See, it tells you, give a little bit of the history here. That this Harry Burnell built these from 1905 to the 1940s. These examples are construction of oak with exterior grade varnish. They were only used one summer on our client's screen-in porch before they moved and sold the chairs back to us. Very good, nearly new condition. Oh, that's interesting. Height, width, depth, seat height, set of 2. So it gives us the dimensions, but it does not tell us the thickness of the material. So that's kind of a bummer. But, like I said, just looking at it, it looks to be, to me, it looks to be uh, 3/4 or 1 inch, one or the other. Um, like I said, if you look at the original, and if you look at the Rockler version, I I don't know what the Rockler version. I don't know if the Rockler version actually says what material it's used either. You probably have to buy the plans, and it'll tell you uh, whether or not that's 3/4 or 1 inch. So, but that's neither here nor there. Because, like I said, I was setting out to create that similar style chair, but um, but I wanted to do it out of readily available materials. So this is the plan that we ultimately came up with. So there are a few more dimensions I need to add to the plan before I post it. I'm going to post this up on the Etsy shop. So if you want a printed set of plans, you can get those um, with a lot more instructions and all the important dimensions. But basically what I wanted to show you was it takes one 2x10x8, one 2x8x8, and two 2x6s by 8, and you can build this chair. And what's nice about that is, look, uh, this is treated material price. So for less than $50, you can build this style chair. So that's pretty cool stuff. So like I said, less than $50 certainly beats the thousands that those other websites are asking. Now, because you're building this out of 2x material, it's going to be pretty heavy. Because it's going to be pretty thick material. So just keep that in mind. You won't have to worry about these blowing away in the wind. That's for sure, because they're gonna be pretty heavy duty chairs. But literally, you'll be able to drive a tanker truck on them. They're gonna be stupid sturdy. Um, but we've eliminated, like I said, we eliminated all those notches. Now you can see like this little batten here. This is what they call a batten. It has a 30-degree miter. Would you have to do that? You wouldn't have to. I just did it just for fun. Um, this piece right here has a 22-degree uh, miter, or I should say bevel. Um, and that's very easy to do on your table saw, so you can handle that very easily. And then the other this piece right here, this front piece, I'll move it out here for you just so you can see it. But this has that same 22-degree bevel, and then if you look at it from the top, I don't know if you can see this, it has a 12-degree bevel this way as well. So it's pretty straightforward. Those are the only pieces though that are gonna what I would consider tricky, but uh, they're obviously quite simple too. Now, obviously, our seat has a miter to it. Those are all 12 degrees. That's the magic degree for the chair, is that 12-degree chair. But if you look at our chair and then you look at, let's go back to the original here, see if I can get a kind of a side-by-side comparison. So you can see they're quite similar. Now, in the original chair, the those wings there are a bit more exaggerated, obviously, as you can see, and obviously that is an adjustment that you can make, certainly. But you can see how these pieces slope back, and then you can see how these pieces slope back. Now, keep in mind, obviously, that if I'm just going to hide this for a moment. See there? So now you can see that they're quite similar looking as far as that goes. Looking at it dead from the front. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of introduce that chair to you because I just think it's such a cool design, And because we added that front piece, um, I don't think we need this little kicker at the bottom. All of that doing is making giving those legs an extra little bit of stability. And trust me, when this is all screwed together with this big 2x6 right here, you won't have to worry about your legs being stable. But if we did not want that piece, because we like that kind of open cavern look, um, then we might consider going ahead and putting in that other piece. And the other thing too that we got to consider is we're building it all out of 1x material, or excuse me, 2x material, where they were doing it all out of what appears to be 3/4 inch material. So this is going to be a lot more beefy for sure. One other thing we could do is, you see that angle right here? We have that on this one too. We could run some boards at the bottom of that and create like a little pocket. And so we could stash stuff in there, magazines, whatever, if we wanted to. That's just another idea. Or, kids' toys, or, I mean, whatever you wanted to stick in there, you could stick in there. It might be kind of a convenient little hidey hole for pillows, blankets, whatever. Um, you could utilize that pretty easily. All right. So that's it for this one. Um, be on the lookout for our full build video on this. I have not actually built this yet. I am going to build it. I want to test to see how comfortable it is, um, and just what it looks like in real life. Like I said, I'm pretty confident that I love the design. I love all those angles. I love all those curves all coming together. I just really think it's interesting. Um, but I am a little bit bigger guy, so I am interested to see how if I left me enough room to wiggle in there, and how that's going to fit. And also, I am a little bit concerned about this area right here. Is that going to be wide enough? And you kind of don't know until you actually build it and make some determination as to, is that going to fit good? Does it need some adjustment? Uh, that's part of why we build our prototype, to make those decisions, and we could make the necessary adjustments. That's not the problem. We could definitely adjust it if we need to somehow, I would imagine. But as best as I could tell, I think we're pretty close to where we need to be. So, like I said, once I do have the build video put together, you'll find that link in the description below. So you may, if you're watching this um, right after the release of this introductory design video, um, then the actual build video may not be posted just yet. So check back on that. All right, so that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.